2008 Toyota Prius Touring Edition spark plug replacement. I've already loosened up everything, but I'll go ahead and show you what has to be removed in order to access the spark plugs. First, you're going to remove the clips from your airbox cleaner. It's going to be your top cap. Remove that air filter itself. Okay, there's going to be a 10mm bolt right here, which will be a clamp to move the hose. Go ahead and remove that. There's going to be another one, which is under the bottom right here on this clamp to the actual intake itself. Loosen that guy. You can remove this whole wiring right here to your sensor, or you can just move it onto the side, kind of like what I did. You're going to have your relay box up here. There's 2 bolts. You're going to take those 2 out, remove that, set it aside. Also, a quick mention, there is 2 bolts here, one here, one here. Once you loosen those, then you'll be able to move it to the side. Okay, once you're back to this point, you can go ahead and release this clip right here, which is going to pull it off from the connector, and then you can remove each individual connector from your coil packs. I've already replaced the spark plugs on these 3. So I'll just go ahead and remove those. There's one 10mm bolt here, which is this one. It's locked in there. You'll have to remove each one individually. Give a little rotate to this coil pack. Don't pull it straight out, or you can damage the end in case it seizes the spark plug. So kind of rotate it, break it loose. We'll pull it out. Then you're going to need a extension with the 5/8 spark plug socket. Make sure it has the grommet inside. That way it can retain the spark plug. So we'll drop it in, and then you can go ahead and loosen them, remove it, and then we'll get ready for the new ones. I just want to show you what the old spark plug looks like. This one has a 102,000 miles. It's kind of hard to focus. There we go. 102,000 miles. As you can see, it's slightly worn. I recommend going with the OEM one, which I went with NGK Iranium's BKR5EIX-11. This one is going to be your new one to the side. As you can see, the electro is a lot shorter on the worn one. So while we're replacing this, you can pick up 4 of them for about $50 at AutoZone. A couple other things I recommend getting is some anti-seize for the threads. I went ahead and went with this one. And you're just going to open it up, put a very small amount on the threads itself, kind of spread it out like that. Don't worry about putting a lot, because as you rotate it in there, it will spread. And another item I recommend picking up for the boots, which I'll show in the video, some dielectric grease. We're going to actually put that inside of the boot from the coil pack to prevent arcing, and it's waterproof as well. Okay, once you have the spark plug installed and snug, it's time to torque them to spec. This model in particular happens to be 13 pounds, but I recommend looking it up yourself. This is a click style torque wrench. You'll notice once I get to the point of torquing, the neck of it right here will actually break slightly. If you watch it closely, right there, you can see it's properly torqued. One quick note too, when you're removing these spark plugs, if you break it loose on the first removal and it feels like it's getting rougher and rougher, you should thread it back in slightly, then back out, and just go back and forth until the spark plug comes out, because you might risk damaging the threads if you just continue to back the spark plug out if the threads are hard. Okay, now it's onto the coil packs. We're going to go ahead and reinstall these ones. I'm going to put some of that dielectric grease right inside there, and then we'll go ahead and install it. Once the coils are reinstalled and you have all 4 bolts fastened, you can go ahead and install the 4 clips. Make sure you hear it click before you move on to the next one. Otherwise, it might have a loose connection, which could potentially cause a misfire. So we'll connect all 4 of those and then come back to here. I suppose like a little bonus tip, since you have the throttle body exposed, this is how much gunk I cleaned off of it. I recommend going in here with a paper towel, and you can rotate the throttle body from the spring right here. You can open it up and just wipe down the throttle body, the plate itself, and then around the edges. Just recommend like a brake cleaner. I use this, sprayed a little bit on that towel and wiped it off, and pulled out quite a bit of gunk. Okay, as far as buttoning up on the reinstallation, airbox, one clamp right here, then your other clamp is right there. It's kind of hard to see behind the connector, but there's a clamp that has the fitting that actually goes on the throttle body. You have a bolt here, which will hold this piece. Then your relay box that goes against the firewall, you'll have one here, one here. Then all you have to do is drop in your air filter, reinstall your box, and then fasten your clamps. That should be it. Any questions, comment below.